Further probing of the project has revealed a pattern of breaches which suggests strongly that this was a well-planned exercise with a clear objective of avoiding accountability on the part of either the political directorate or senior technical officers. As such, there is clear evidence that at several critical steps of the process, what would be seen by any objective observer as logical actions to protect the interests of the government of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica were not taken. Furthermore, no credible explanation has been advanced for such behavior. The kindest explanation would be gross incompetence. That's the kindest interpretation. I leave you to deduce what are other and perhaps more logical explanations. And I'll indicate again some of the issues which have concerned the opposition and we believe should be of concern to the public. We return to the selection of the main contractor by the sole source methodology. The Auditor General's audit has already refuted the original claim that the use of the sole source methodology was a requirement of the China Exim Bank. However, in the last hearing of the PAAC chaired by colleague Dr. McNeil, the Permanent Secretary indicated that no due diligence was carried out about the firm China Harbour prior to the GOJ deciding to select it by the sole source methodology as the main contractor. This we found astounding in that such a commitment was being made, a loan of $340 million US, and there was no work done in terms of due diligence as to the main contractor to be selected. Second, the role of the Road Maintenance Fund. This institution, although the official borrower of the US $340 million, plays no critical role in any aspect of the project. Most startling was the testimony of the head of the RMF that the officers of that organization played no role in the negotiation of the loan and were simply instructed to sign the documents as the borrower after the agreement had been reached. The third, and Dr. Phillips has already made reference to it, but it's worth repeating, the exclusion of the project from the central government budget. The deliberate exclusion of the JDIP project from the estimates of expenditure can only be seen as an attempt to thwart Parliament in an examination of the implementation of this, the largest GOJ capital project. We feel obliged to remind the country that it was the refusal of Minister Henry to respond to questions about the project during the hearing of the Standing Finance Committee in April, which led to the walkout by the opposition. Mr. Henry's decision to stonewall was fully backed by all government members, including then Prime Minister Bruce Golding, then leader of government business and present Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Finance Minister Audley Shaw, whose constituency has benefited greatly from this JDIP project, and Minister Darrell Vaz, who we are told is going to be in charge of the project during its temporary sojourn in the office of the Prime Minister. For these reasons, the opposition has no confidence in the decision by Prime Minister Holness to place the project on a temporary basis under his aegis in the office of the Prime Minister and to assign oversight responsibilities to Minister Vaz, who was one of the most ardent backers of Minister Henry when he stonewalled during the Standing Finance Committee. My colleague Dr. Phillips has raised questions about further action, but it's clear that steps need to be taken to preclude a recurrence. The Ministry of Finance has an obligation to ensure that expenditure of government funds, regardless of whether it's through the central government budget or through the public bodies, need to ensure value for money for the taxpayers. And therefore the Financial Secretary, and I've deliberately said the Financial Secretary rather than the Minister of Finance, has an obligation to carry out investigations and report as to whether the country has obtained value for money. Dr. Phillips has suggested several other steps, but we need to ensure that there is transparency and accountability, and to date, neither has been present in this project. Thank you.